What is going on, everybody? This is Jake Kent here, and on this channel we talk about hair loss, hair systems, and just being better overall men. Today we're going to be taking a look at a cool concept, which is actually body hair transplants for people's hairlines to see if they're effective in actually creating a better hairline. So the problem is that with some hair transplants, you can get this kind of look right here, which is that hair plug look, which isn't ideal when we're talking about someone's hairline. It can be something that they're very, very sensitive about, just like many of us with hair systems are sensitive about how our hairline looks and if it's indistinguishable from natural hair, things like that. So this isn't exactly a new concept of using leg hair for softening the hairline. We see that this right here was published in 2012, so it's been around for a while. But this right here is an article that's talking about Dr. Umar, who is in California, who has done this on multiple patients and probably since then has done it many times, but transplanted about 1,000 leg hair follicles to the front hairline of a patient, about 1,000 of these, and it had a growth rate of about 75 to 80%, and it turned out that it actually worked pretty dang good. I said that the transplanted leg hair had a longer mean length than the length of the original leg hair with similar hair width but less curliness, which is really interesting if you think about it, that somehow this hair that's on the leg somehow is actually growing different on the scalp than it did on the actual leg. So that's pretty fascinating. This article goes on to say that these results were sustained after 4 years and that it was efficacious. It was something that worked, and that inside of this, they found after 4 years that there wasn't really hair loss that occurs with normal leg hair cycle variations resulting in hair loss, and that this was also reserved in similar patient at 3 years. So overall, very cool stuff. But I wanted to take a deeper look into this and see what was possible. So what I did is I basically went online and I searched for a couple different videos that I could show you, and I could actually look at myself of what these leg hair transplants look like, because the concept sounds silly and it sounds weird and kind of maybe a little strange, but it's interesting results. So let's take a look at what this might actually look like. So here we have a patient, and we can see that little pluggy look right here. Not super desirable, and that people don't really like the way that their hairlines look after they get a hair transplant. So let's take a look at what it actually looks like after getting, wow. Apparently that's what it looks like after getting a leg hair transplant. We can see just these fine hairs. It's a lot softer, not as aggressive, and overall just looks more, wow. Comparing these two right here, you can see such a difference. That's amazing. Yeah, so look at this. Before he had just a very straight hairline, and now they've actually created a couple widow's peaks. He created one right here, and then there's probably one on the other side that's very similar. It's pretty amazing when you look at this, and oh, okay, so there's a picture right there. Check that out. That's what his leg looked like after getting a hair transplanted. Looks kind of painful, I don't know. But anyways, pretty fascinating, right? That this is something that they can do, and not only that they can do it, but this is actually something that's effective and can improve the quality of a hairline if you decide to go with the transplant option. Well, let's take a look at another example of like a leg hairline transplant. Okay, so this is what it looked like after, and it looks like this is from the same doctor right here, Dr. Umar. This is the guy that we read the research article, and look at that. That's really, really nice and soft and subtle. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so look at this. This is his before picture right here. And then let's take a look at the after picture. Definitely a little bit softer, a little bit more mellow. I think that this guy, I think his transition is a little softer. Like his wasn't as bad before, as noticeable as the other guy, so it's not quite as easy to distinguish. But oh, this picture, you can really see it. If you look at right here, this line, definitely you can see the hair grafts are definitely more, pluggy, if you will. This right here is much better. Looks way more natural and just incredible, like incredible results. Wow, and look at this right here. This is awesome. So this was the before up close. You can see those pluggy looks. Look at it after, man. This is so good. Man, so natural. So natural. Makes me almost want to get a hair transplant. So yeah, very interesting stuff. I actually wanted to show you one more video though, and this is actually going to come from David DiMuzio, or his other YouTube channel is called Hair Loss Hope. He's a guy that creates content about hair loss and hair transplants because he's had a couple of them in his life. He's been on this channel a couple times and we've talked to him about a couple subjects. He's a really, really cool guy. Make sure you check out his channel, subscribe to him, all that fun stuff. But in the video that I'm about to show you, he actually talks a little bit about these body hair transplants which he's had and some of the unique effects about them. So check this out.
It's healed up like brilliantly. Actually, one of the great things about getting hair from your beard transplanted is that the neck is very vascular and heals extremely well and heals extremely fast. Now, only downside.
So he's saying basically that these body hair transplants, those areas heal incredibly fast because of the vascularity. But an interesting, the thing I wanted to show you is that David here, Hair Loss Hope, he has had scalp pigmentation. He's had SMP done on the back because he has some scars from an old hair transplant. So he was trying to cover that up and he wanted to get that body hairs inserted in the scalp. So let's take a listen to this.
That scar tissue, if it hasn't been done correctly, to miniaturize and to give you that sort of look. So one of the things that I'm the most happy with is now if you look at the after picture, this is 4 months later, you'll be able to tell that my hair below that scar is much more uniform. It looks much more normal. And so,
wow,
actually,
yeah,
regardless
of
the actual hairs that I had transplanted and whether they grow or not, having that surgery done and having those FUE, grafts placed there actually helps draw blood flow to that scar, makes the scar look more normal, just even regardless of the hair that's in it or not, and then also helps to increase the blood flow below the scar, so that whole area just looks more normal. So to me, so far, this has been the biggest benefit of this surgery. That
picture is amazing. Like, this is amazing. So he basically said, yeah, I think the scar kind of goes along here, I think. I'm not sure. But what he's saying is that he's lost blood flow and that his hair didn't really grow well after he got that transplant, which is something that I didn't know and I was unaware of. And on top of that, an interesting side effect of all of this stuff is that because he got this transplant, that hair was starting to grow in the scar, which is a very novel thing because generally hair doesn't grow inside of your actual scars. So he does go on in this video to talk about he does have some hair growing inside the scar. But interestingly, like if you look at down here though, just like the thickness of his hair below his hair transplant scar is so much better and thicker, which came from body hair transplant. So that's super cool. I was totally unaware of this and how it could be used, but really cool concept, and I can see why it's a thing, and the hairlines look amazing, right? Like, if we go back to this one right here, like the difference between both of these is just incredibly different, and I mean, amazing. So definitely appreciate what they're doing right here, and high quality work. So what did you guys think of the video? Did you like seeing content like this, kind of more in the hair transplant space? Is it something that you like learning about? If it is, leave me a comment down below, leave a like on the video, and I'll see you guys soon.